Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to teach you how to highlight rows and columns with the help of a VBA code. We also want to highlight the intersection of the rows and columns. We also want to make sure that in case if the user selects multiple cells, the code does not triggers. And we also need to make sure that in case if the user clicks out of the range, then the code does not works at all. So we are only going to make sure that the code works only and only when the user selects any cell between range A2 and range I20. So for that we can head over to the developer tab and start writing our VBA code. So now we can click on the developer tab and head over to the Visual Basic, and in the Visual Basic we need to select the sheet cars where our data is stored. So now from the drop down menu we need to select worksheet, and then we need to make sure that the selection change event is selected. So now we can start writing our code. So first of all we need to write if target dot cells dot count large is greater than 1, then exit sub. So as I have already told you, we need to make sure in case if the user selects multiple cells, we need to exit the sub and we do not want the code to trigger. So next we want to write if not intersect target comma range A2 to I20 is nothing, then we can close our end if statement. Now we need to highlight the row. For that we can write range cells target dot row column A comma cells target dot row comma column I dot interior dot color equal to RGB 169, 208 and 242. So now we can head over to the Excel and see if this code is working. So you can see if I click on any cell, then that particular row is highlighted, and if I click on another row, then other particular row is highlighted. But we also want to make sure if the user selects another cell, then the previous row gets de-highlighted and the color changes back to the formatting of the table. So for that we can head over to the Excel and start writing our code. So now we need to write range A2 to I20 dot interior dot color equal to XL none. So it will set back the color of the other rows back to nothing, or we can say back to the formatting of the table. So now we need to write code for highlighting the columns. So we will say range cells 2 comma target dot column comma cells 20 comma target dot column dot interior dot color equal to RGB 169, 208 comma 142. Now we can head over to the Excel and see if this code works. So now you can see that both the rows and the columns are getting highlighted, and the data that is getting highlighted is within the range A2 and I20. If I click outside the range, then nothing will happen. If I select multiple cells, then also nothing happens, but only if I select any cell between A2 and I20, then only the code works. Now we will write another line of code to highlight or to change the color of the intersection of the rows and the columns. For that we can head over to the Visual Basic and start writing our code. So I will say intersect target comma range A2 to I20 dot interior dot color equal to RGB 255 comma 192 comma 0. So we can head over to the Excel and see if the intersection is working. So now you can see that the intersection of the columns and the rows is getting highlighted with a different color, and that is orange. So now I want to change the formatting of the intersection of the rows and the columns to bold and italic. For that we can head over to the Excel, Visual Basic, and we can write more code. And for that I can say I will use a with condition, and then I can push down the interior dot color statement, and then I can close my end with statement. Now I will say dot font dot bold equal to true, dot font dot italic equal to true. So we can head over to the Excel and see. You can see that the intersection is getting formatted as bold and italic. But now we need to make sure once we click another cell, then the previous cell that we had selected gets its formatting changed back to the formatting of the table. So for that we can head over to the Visual Basic and write more code. And I will use a with condition with our previous VBA code, and I can push down the interior dot color statement, and then I can close end with statement. Now I will write dot font dot bold equal to false, dot font dot italic equal to false. So that is all for this code, and we can head over to the Excel and see if this code is working. So if I click on the range A4, you can see the column A is getting highlighted and the row 4 is getting highlighted, as well as the intersection of these rows and columns gets highlighted with the formatting of bold and italic. Now let's see, if I click on another cell, does the formatting gets changed back to the formatting of the table. So if I click on the cell F9, you can see that the range A4 has changed, the formatting of the range A4 has been changed back to the formatting of the table. So I think this code is working perfectly. And that was all for this video. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you and have a great day.